Hi, and welcome to another Real Life English Fluency Plus video lesson. This is technically the last video lesson of our 12-module course, but we have an extra bonus module for you, which is going to be technically module 13.
Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13. So I guess you guys probably know who we are by now.
I would hope so.
We hope so. Should we introduce ourselves again?
Might as well.
Hi guys, I'm Chad.
And I'm Trevor.
Nice to meet you. So this video lesson is going to be about English for life and how to make an English for life lifestyle. Okay, so what exactly is English for life there, Trevor?
So the basic definition of English for life is learning to use English in your everyday life. Not to make it something that you have to study, but something that just naturally comes up in your life. So doing what you normally do, maybe watching TV, music, or whatnot, but do it while learning English.
Exactly. And this is a new concept. It has only been around for a couple of years now, I guess.
It can't be too long because it needs technology.
And that is kind of revolutionizing the way that we learn language. Okay, in comparison to 10, 20, 30 years ago, we had traditional institutions where you had your traditional English teacher, your traditional methodology, but now we've changed all that around.
Yeah. Thanks to the internet.
Thanks to the internet.
And other technologies.
Exactly. So, you've probably kind of understood that because we've been talking about this a lot throughout the whole course. So we're going to just finalize that whole concept right now with this last video lesson. And we're going to teach you 7 awesome ways that you can start making English part of your everyday life.
Yep. And so if some of this sounds redundant, if it sounds like we've already talked about it before, it's because we're doing it on purpose. Okay? You need to have a really good understanding of this so that it's easier for you to teach your friends and anyone else who asks about it. So you need to have a good enough understanding to be able to teach it.
Yep. And you're going to see that this is an awesome way. We use this ourselves to learn other languages. And it's proven to be very efficient, very fast, and very fun.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's go through the 7 tips on how to make an English for life lifestyle. Tip number 1.
Get a smartphone. If you can afford it, if you have enough money, you got to get a smartphone. These you can use with all the different English apps for learning, and they're absolutely amazing. So like for example, one of them is Anki. If you're not using Anki yet, what are you doing? Start using it now. It's great for learning new vocabulary, and you can get a message every time you have new vocabulary to review, maybe 10 new words. You can just open your phone, do it in like 2 minutes, and you're done. So it's a very small amount of time, but you learn a lot, and it's just every day. A little bit there, a little bit here.
Purely focus on vocabulary, right?
Is what Anki is for. And then you also have applications like TuneIn Radio, which lets you hear the radio from anywhere in the whole world. So it's really good for tapping into or learning about the culture and learning with music and with natural conversation. Some radios have talk shows, and some just play music, some do both.
Some even have commercials.
Yes.
Which are kind of funny to listen to a commercial in another language.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of bad, but good at the same time if you can learn from it. Excellent. And there are many other apps that you can get. They're creating new apps every day that are going to just help your English learning. Okay? If you don't have, if you can't find a smartphone, I know they're kind of expensive, try to get your hands on at least a MP3 player. Okay? Because another thing you should make the most of, maybe take advantage of your spare time while you're commuting.
Okay. Almost everyone has some distance, some time that they spend going to and from work or school, and most of the time people aren't learning much at all.
No.
When I see people on the bus, they're just sitting there, their heads down, not doing anything. I saw one person reading on the bus today though.
Okay.
So that was cool.
So that's tip number 2, is to make the most of these situations where you would usually or generally just be doing nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so commuting is probably the most common one. I know I generally take at least half an hour to get around. I have to go to work most days.
Yeah, it takes me longer because I don't have a motorcycle.
Okay, maybe on a motorcycle it's not the best thing.
No, not the best idea.
So take advantage of that time. You know, maybe not even just commuting, but if you listen to our podcast, we always say make the most of even when you're waiting in line, cleaning the house. Put your MP3 player on and listen to some kind of English.
Train your listening skills.
Cool. And talking about our podcast and listening in general, what's tip number 3?
Tip number 3 is to listen to podcasts.
Okay.
Podcasts, whether they're ESL or just normal podcasts, you're going to learn so much from listening to podcasts. Just having an extra hour or 2 or 3 of English in your ear every day is going to do a lot. And so there's podcasts like ours, the weekly podcast, where you'll learn a lot of new expressions, real life vocabulary, grammar. We teach a little bit of grammar as well.
Yeah, there's a few grammar questions in there.
And then there's also ESL Pod, which is more of a beginner type podcast. They speak really slow, but you can also learn from whatever you're interested in. There's going to be a podcast about it in English.
Yeah. So it can be even a subject that is totally not really relevant to actually learning English. For example, if you like cooking, find a cooking podcast.
It's like 30.
If you like maybe some kind of business-styled podcast, there's hundreds of business podcasts out there. You got podcasts about university lectures and things like this. So use this as much as you can. It's a great resource and it's good information.
And a lot of this stuff will indirectly help your English. And not just with listening to it, but if you learn about, for example, self-development, anything with time management or memory or anything to improve yourself, then it's going to help anything you learn, like English.
Exactly.
And so the more you can just listen to this in English, it's because everything is going to reinforce itself and it just adds up.
Okay, so talking about listening and podcasts, let's move on to tip number 4, which is music.
All right.
Okay.
All right, music man, you want to take this one?
It's definitely one of my favorite ways to learn languages. And the beauty of music is that you kind of always remember it. You know, if you get a song that you like in English, maybe print out the lyrics and really internalize the lyrics, and you will notice that your memory works much better when you can associate the lyrics with the song, which is generally some kind of story as well.
Yeah, it has a lot of emotion in it that helps the memory as well. And once you learn a song, you learn it forever.
Generally, right? As long as you keep listening to it every now and then.
Or it comes back, you remember it really fast again if you forgot some words.
Definitely. If you are a musician, if you like to play an instrument, for guitar, for example, this is a great way to, you're playing the guitar, so you're kinetically involved by playing and speaking, you're singing the song at the same time.
Yeah, learning pronunciation, the flow of the language.
The phonetics, okay, all these difficult to pronounce words that you have in different languages, which is amazing. And plus there's also a cultural aspect to music.
Yeah.
I know in a lot of Portuguese songs that I listen to, they're kind of exposing me to Brazilian culture at the same time. Learning a lot there.
Yeah, it's almost impossible not to learn about culture by listening to music. Music is one of the most pure, or the purest expression of culture.
Definitely kind of right brain learning there. We mentioned in several other video lessons before.
Yep.
What's the next one there, Trevor? Number 5?
Okay, so the next one is moving from listening to writing. And so writing or keeping a journal about your progress is just amazing for improvement, because anything that you keep track of or write down will improve. Anything that gets recorded improves. So if you can write down about what you're learning, how much time you're spending, or just taking some time to just write a little bit in English, it's the next best thing to thinking. You'll be saying the words in your head, you'll be writing it down, and you'll be learning a lot.
Yeah, it's like you know what you want to say, so you're thinking of the words in your head, and then when you write them, it's kind of you're visualizing it at the same time, it's a great mixture of all those skills as well.
Yeah, and if you can find another person who wants to learn your native language, then you can trade what you have written, and you guys can correct each other and learn a lot about grammar and stuff like that, which kind of leads us into the next section.
Okay, which is tip number 6, which is focus more on speaking, which is speaking online. Okay, now again, with the power of technology, we have many resources, online resources that can really help the speaking aspect of English. Some good ones which we have mentioned before is Verbling. Okay, Verbling, I believe, is it's like a trade-off. Like you said before, you find someone who wants to learn your language, and you trade that with a language you wish to learn. I'm guessing it's English.
Yep.
So if someone wants to learn your native language, you can go onto Verbling and make that trade.
Yeah, and you can do a similar thing with italki. They're similar, and you can both find people to have Skype conversations with. And which leads into the next section for this is finding people to Skype with. And one thing that you can do to find people to Skype with is to join the Real Life English community on Facebook. There's a lot of people posting threads asking, hey, do you want to Skype? Here's my Skype information. Or if you post there a lot, you'll make some friends and you can Skype with them as well.
So yeah, that is, like you said, it's the next one. Tip number 7 is community and just connecting to people, which the internet has made 100 times easier now.
Yeah.
You don't really have to go very far to talk to someone on the other side of the world.
Right. You don't have to write a letter and wait 6 months for it to travel to that person.
Yeah. So community is a very big one, and internet, I speak to people all day on different online resources. A really good one which I've used, couchsurfing.
Yeah, couchsurfing is amazing. You can get free place to stay almost anywhere in the world, and because people are open to travelers, they want to hear your story, and the language people communicate on couchsurfing is English in general.
Even like in foreign countries, like right now we are in Brazil, and there is often couchsurfing. They have a meetup where all the local community goes to a specific area in that city, and they meet, they talk, and it's generally in English. A lot of the times, because they like that foreigners are coming there. In this country, at least, most of the foreigners speak English. There are many other online communities. Facebook communities are a great one. Like we mentioned, you can go on and make friends with someone, exchange Skype information. You can be talking to an English speaker whenever you want. Make a new friend, practice your English.
And so one of the best Facebook groups is, we like to think, the Real Life English Facebook
Why not?
group. Or just the community in general. And so we think the main point of the language is community, is making new friends, is experiencing the world with other people, learning about other people's cultures and living in them. And that happens through community. And the more you can get into an English learning community, the easier it will be to learn English, to be inspired to learn English, and to even travel the world and become what we like to call a world citizen, which is not just my country, but my world, my planet. And you start to take into consideration other people's cultures, and you look at it from a much more integral perspective.
The world becomes a much smaller place. So this was our 7 tips to English for life, making your English lifestyle. We hope this helped you. We hope that you are incorporating these ideas already. Hopefully you're thinking about this if you've already managed to reach Module 12, which we are at right now.
Congratulations, by the way.
Congratulations, yes. So, this is our last official video lesson for Module 12, but we will be back next week with something special for you guys with our bonus week. So, hopefully you are already on the way to being a fluent English speaker and you have enjoyed these video lessons, and we wish you the best of luck in your English journey.
Thanks for watching.
See you guys later.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.